Hey guys, welcome to another Minecraft video, and today I'm gonna be learning from my boy Ancient Sonic how to sword fight. I thought doing a video on it, so just telling you guys what I'm gonna be recording on my computer. And yeah guys, let's get right into it.
I put out a Sky Wars fight animation, and the reason I made that animation is because some of you guys have been asking for how to do a fighting animation, and you specifically referenced Sky Wars, so I decided to try my hand at it so I could see what I could learn and pass on to you guys. So, little bit of a disclaimer, I am by no means the best fight animation guy, there's a few other ones. Other people who do Minecraft tutorials that are really good at it, and that's kind of their thing, what they do. So I would not look at this tutorial or me as an authority on it, but if you want to get started, these...
Okay, I know that part.
And it looks a little more fitting to Steve's body size. You can obviously make it smaller or bigger depending on what you're trying to do, but that's me. So now that we got those basics covered, all we want to do is try to animate some fight motions. So if you watch my throwing tutorial, I kind of gave a little bit of information on how to arc the arm and stuff like that, but I didn't really go in depth. So you're going to probably do similar things to that. So let's say if we want to have Steve bring his arm up, we're just going to go ahead and rotate on our x-axis. Now, one thing I'd like to note for you guys, I've kind of done this some time back, but just a refresher. In my settings, I have the Z is up ticked. If you don't have that ticked, then you're going to have your Y probably being your up and down.
Yeah, I have that.
So mine is X, Y, and Z is my up and down rather than Y being so. I'm pretty sure that doesn't come on by default, but I use it because I think that's set to the very first frame, but we're just going to start off with him kind of in a position ready to strike. And let's go ahead and zoom in on our timeline using the scroll wheel. And there's a few different ways we can do this. First of all, I'm just going to go to about frame 15. Let's see what that looks like. Bring his arm down, and I want to leave a little bit of a bend to it, maybe around 10. Let's have it go back just a tad, maybe about 15. So what we get here is basically he just does that. But what we can do, we can try some transitions to see if we can make that look a little better. So we're going to go down to our keyframe transitions. And we have this one here, which is kind of an ease out and back, and it kind of gives you that look you want with a motion like that. Like he does it, and then he kind of has this bit of inertia that happens. So you can do that, and then depending on how far away the keyframe is, one way I've found to get...
I want to know the
So let's say, instead of that push there, a little bit of a something, that little added oomph that you may want to it. So basically, that's how you would accomplish just a basic swing and how to get some of this,
This is what I want to know. With the flip? I don't like this.
And there you go. Like, you get the rotation point and everything is perfectly copied over. It goes right to where we would want it to be on her as well, so that's convenient. You may have to adjust that depending on how things work out for you, but yeah, that worked out pretty well. Alright, so at this point we want her, like he's coming down with that, so we want her to bring her sword up and be ready to block that mess that he's bringing to her.
Okay, let me see the block.
What we're going to do is have the point where his is coming down here. We're going to use that as kind of a time frame for us. So we want her to bring her sword up and be ready to block. So we're going to go ahead and set 2 keyframes. One at the beginning where she's at this neutral position, stance. And then we're going to go ahead and take this one and rotate the arm. A little bit like that. Maybe come up like this, bend the arm a bit. That's obviously you don't want her cutting her own face off, so we're going to go ahead and rotate that out just a tad and try to have her come over and be ready to stop that. Now obviously we may need to reposition him a bit, like how his is working. We also would probably want to animate the body, so when he goes to bring this in, he's probably going to be kind of coming forward just a bit. One of the things I did when I was doing the Skywars animation is I would bring his body forward, so let's just say about 8, and then I would kind of have it arc backwards a little bit to kind of give that sense that he's leaning into it, but, you know, trying to maintain a balance or something. So he's like that. We're also going to want to bring his head up. So here we go, something like that. So he's still looking at her. And what we may want is also a little bit of rotation on his body. So let's do like that maybe. Something, maybe that's a bit too much. Let's try about 5. And then we're also going to have to turn his head a bit
guys,
to try to make that match up. Let's go about -5.
Pretty
now,
much
that's like
just
perfectly,
swinging it.
you know, 5 on the body, -5 on the head, so that makes it perfectly straight. You may not always want it to be perfectly straight. You may want to add a little bit of variance to it. Let's go ahead and give his head a little bit of a tilt, maybe the other direction.
Like doing a little bit of
that.
a side swing right there, so...
And we're going to go ahead and take her body and have it tilt a little bit this way. Let's go about 5 on her as well. And we want her arm probably to rotate the other way. Let's see what this looks like. So we could have her, you know, rotate it like that, or we could bring it over more like this. So it depends on, you know, how exactly you are wanting the character to block, like what kind of movement they're supposed to be trying to do. So you go ahead and do like that. And the way the rotation points work in Minimator is kind of unfortunate. So you kind of have to finagle with some of it. See, at this point now, if we want her arm to bend down more towards that, we have to use our X rotation axis, something like that, and bring it over. And as you can see, we finally got the swords to meet. And, yeah, she brings it up and blocks it real quick. So as you can see here, though, some of this isn't quite, you know, realistic the way we want. We may want her arm to bend a bit more or something. So I think this is pretty good, but sometimes when you're bringing it up, you may want to add, like say around here, you may want to add a little bit more bend. Whatever it is, it makes it actually look a little more realistic and better. So she brings it up and then brings it out like that. Gives it a little bit more of a realistic vibe to the animation. She's kind of like bringing it up and then extending out at that last moment before their swords meet. And then of course his comes in a little bit, and we want to portray that slight reaction on her part. So on the second keyframe where his goes in, we're going to have hers go in a bit. Let's try about, this is 28.3, so we're going to do about 29.5 maybe, something like that. And we have a keyframe on his, a transition. So we're going to go ahead and try to give this one the same one to make it seem like the reactions are happening similarly. So obviously this is really rough. This isn't like 100% the way you would want it to look in the end, but this is basically the techniques that I use in order to get the similar effects. So let's just go ahead, for the sake of being thorough, and match her body up as well. It's about her head, because her body tilts.
Okay, I get it.
-5.
Or do I?
Something like that, and there he is. You know, he kind of catches it and moves it over. So
okay, and
this is something I might would have set up earlier on, but for the sake of how a little bit quicker and comes to us a little bit gradual stop there. So let's go ahead and apply that same keyframe transition to our legs, and we get a little bit more realistic. Once again, you can play with these keyframes and see what works for you, what kind of movements you guys want for your own, but I think that's not too bad. Another thing I would do here with his head is comes forward maybe when he first clings with her a little bit, so he's gonna have to go, let's say about -3. Maybe it's not quite enough there. Maybe about that. Just zero it out. You can see how that kind of happens there. So let's go ahead and extend these out, make it look a little more obvious. See there? Kind of gives it a little bit more realistic motion. Let's also give this Let's see if we can give it a keyframe transition to make it look a little better.
Okay, pretty good.
As soon as he hits her, and she goes back a little bit, reacting to that force. And basically, the way I accomplished this, I animated her to go back a bit more, like once the sword hits. So you may notice from the beginning, she steps forward, he steps forward. Her sword comes up to block his hits.
Well guys, I know I didn't actually finish it. I was just gonna be learning how to hit and block. So guys, make sure to leave that like button. So rude for making no videos, and yeah, see you guys later. Bye.